And now, from approximately coast to coast, Bob and Ray take great pleasure in presenting the Bob and Ray Radio Show.
And thanks, Paul. Paul Tallman, ladies and gentlemen.
How do you do, everybody? It's good to be back playing the old organ again here at the Bob and Ray Show.
Good to see you again, and Mary Magoon over there. And
hello.
Wally Ballou.
Hi.
And all the rest of the Bob and Ray cast. We're mighty happy to say that also several new sponsors have signed aboard for this new series. Sponsors whose products and services you'll be hearing a lot about.
In addition, of course, to our old faithful subscribers, Einbeinder, the flypaper that you've grown to trust over the course of 3 generations. And the Monongahela Metal Foundry, makers of steel ingots for home and office.
Plus, we welcome Height Watchers International, offering 6 ample servings of low vitamins and nutrients in artificial colorings.
And the McGonigal Soap Company. Good enough for your grandmother, it should be good enough for you.
The Crutchford Braid and Tassel Company, the company that dares to stand behind its fringe for 2 full years.
And we'll be welcoming the Upper Mohawk Valley Manufacturing Company, a leader in products sold by direct mail.
We'll hear all about these fine sponsors and much, much more as we proceed with the all-new Bob and Ray radio series. Well, since last we said goodbye to you viewers, not very much has changed on the entertainment scene except for one big development.
Oh, that's right. TV discovered the courtroom.
Right.
And now we're deluged with programs featuring real litigants and actors as lawyers, real lawyers questioning witnesses who are actors.
And so we, great humanitarians that we are, said this type of fine entertainment should be brought to our Bob and Ray listeners. So we bring you the first session of Civil Court, the live feature where real people bring real damage suits before a real judge. Today's case involves aspiring author F. Scott Bostwick and his landlady Muriel Dowdy, whom he claims willfully destroyed one of his manuscripts. Now I see that Judge Morton Krexler has taken his place on the bench, so let's move inside the courtroom for today's case.
All right, you can be seated. I've read your claim, Mr. Bostwick, and I understand that you're accusing your landlady here of destroying the only copy of a manuscript for your unpublished book. Now, in compensation, you're seeking damages of $70. Is that correct?
No, there's one thing wrong in there, Your Excellency. I'm seeking damages of $70 million. I guess I left out 6 zeros when I typed up my complaint.
Well, that's absurd. I haven't got $70 million to give this man.
Well, you better get your hands on it, you old biddy. I'm playing hardball now.
Just a minute. Let's have order here. Mr. Bostwick, what leads you to believe that the manuscript you say your landlady destroyed was worth $70 million?
Well, for one thing, it was the great American novel of this century.
Oh, bourgeois.
I called it Rex, the story of a boy and his dog.
And you'd been assured of $70 million in royalties from its publication, had you?
Well, assured is kind of a strong word, Your Eminence, but one publisher said he liked my neat typing, and he sort of encouraged me to submit a few more chapters, so naturally that led me to start figuring what the movie rights might sell for, and I calculate $70 million easy.
Your Honor, this man is a certified loony. You appear smart enough to figure that out.
Don't use flattery on him, Muriel. This is just like the time you tried to sell me your husband's old clothes and told me I looked good in them.
Oh, hold on now, please, both of you. Mrs. Dowdy, is the complaint against you correct when it states that you destroyed Mr. Bostwick's manuscript deliberately?
Of course it's correct. You don't crumple 400 sheets of paper up into little balls by accident.
I can explain what happened very easily, Judge. You see, this little weasel was too cheap to buy typing paper for his book. He just scribbled it on old paper sacks and things like that.
It was still priceless prose, Your Worship, but she just crumpled it page by page, even the part about Rex being sick with worms when he was a puppy.
Oh, Rex was the boy in your book.
No, Rex was the dog. The boy's name was Rover.
See, Your Honor, he names the dog Rex and the boy Rover. Now, I ask you, does that sound like the great American novel?
Don't start with your literary critique again, Muriel. You wouldn't know a good book if I hit you over the head with one. Besides, You had no right to crumple my manuscript.
Well, it wasn't the way it seemed, F. Scott. I was packing Christmas gifts to mail to the grandchildren, and little Stanley's toy truck rattled around in the box, so I just crumpled up your paper to pack around the toy and cushion
You
it.
mean you did it to make a little kid happy at Christmas and not because you thought my book was terrible?
If you'll let me ask the questions here, after all, I'm the judge.
Yeah, but you're just making things complicated. Besides, if she put my crumpled manuscript in a package, we might be able to get it back.
Yes, I'm sure Stanley only wants the toy truck. He wouldn't give 2 hoops for your book.
Well, I'd still have the expense of getting it retyped. Publishers don't like to read manuscripts that need to be uncrumpled.
I believe a compromise on the damages may be in order here. You were asking for $70 million, Mr. Bostwick.
That's right.
But if your book only needs to be retyped, would you settle for less?
Oh, sure, in that case. I mistakenly thought it was lost forever.
Well, then the court denies the claim for $70 million in punitive damages. Instead, I'm awarding the plaintiff $30 million to have his book retyped. Case dismissed.
I think I can live with that.
Now, hold on. A typist doesn't charge that kind of money. Get back here, Your Honor. Your Honor. Yoo-hoo!
And so another dispute is brought to a satisfactory conclusion by Judge Morton Krexler. Join us again soon when the American system of justice will work its miracles in another case presented in civil court. Oh, boy, you know what that is. The Bob and Ray Employment Service of the Air music. Here to help you, the ordinary employee, with your employment problems, and we hope we can do that. It's our hope we can dip into the extensive Bob and Ray job files and come up with a better tomorrow for you people seated on the hardwood bench here. Would the first job seeker please step up?
Hello, Elliot.
You're our guest for this evening, sir. Could I have your name and occupation?
I'm Scarf Johnson, barnstormer and crop duster. Have you got a job for me?
Oh, not so fast, Johnson. Do you own your own plane?
Yes, I own a Spad. What do you have in mind?
Well, if my memory serves me correctly, there's a kennel 3 miles north of Jamestown, New York, and the owner of the kennel, Mr. Ogden, would like the whole place dusted with flea powder.
I've mass powdered before, Elliot. Now, when does he want the job done?
Well, it's not that easy, Johnson. Mr. Ogden would like to interview you first to see if you're the right man for the job.
Well, I've had vast spraying experience.
No, you still have to see Mr. Ogden before the job is secured, and I'd like to give you a few interview tips.
Shoot, Elliot.
While you're in his office, don't lean on his desk while you're talking to him. They hate that.
Who?
Any prospective employer.
All right, I'll write that down in my logbook here. And remember it when I see Ogden.
And call him Mr. Ogden, because familiarity breeds contempt. You're not going there to be a pal. You're after a job. So be as friendly as you can, but at the same time, be, well, as remote as possible. Think you can do that, Johnson?
Well, I think I can handle it, Elliot. I'll talk to him from behind the closed door of his office.
That might not be a bad idea, but I think you should enter Mr. Ogden's office.
All right, now go in and turn my back to him. We'll chat that way.
Good. Now, you'll have to get longer puttees. The ones you're wearing go only halfway up your legs. Prospective employers are always concerned about neatness,
Well, these are the only puttees I own. And if I roll them all the way up to my knees, there'll be spaces showing. And I have some ball players' knee-length stockings I could wear, though.
Don't you have boots, Johnson?
I did have, but my Batman, Corporal Rollins, stole them several years ago.
Maybe you'd better wear Oxfords and socks with clocks on them. That'll look neat.
Will do, Elliot.
How did your swagger stick get bent, Johnson? Mr. Ogden will take notice of that right away.
It got bent from many years of slapping it against my thigh. You can see where the right thigh here is slightly worn away.
I hope Mr. Ogden won't notice that, Johnson. We can do something about it. When you enter Mr. Ogden's office, kind of walk sideways, you know what I mean?
You mean, sidle in, left side featured? That it, Elliot?
That's it. Feature your left side. Well, that's about all, Johnson. After you sign several employment papers here, you can be on your way to Jamestown.
And how much am I going to get for this job, Elliot?
Well, it's piecework. We're going to charge by the dog. So if you get the job, see that your aim is good, Johnson. And the rest of you folks on the hardwood bench there can go home. come back again after I've had a chance to study our extensive Bob and Ray employment files. Thank you all. Here's a tip on proper etiquette from the makers of Einbeinder Flypaper. Chances are you're spending a lot of these weekends as a house guest of friends or relatives who live in the country.
If so, you should realize that it's appropriate to take a small present to your host and hostess.
And let us assure you, no gift is appreciated more than a 100-yard roll of Einbeinder Flypaper. It comes handsomely packaged in a lovely plastic carton with pictures of daffodils on the outside.
And, of course, on the inside, you'll find the old-fashioned high quality that makes Einbeinder Flypaper so welcome wherever it's given.
For a household present that's impressive, be sure you get genuine Einbeinder, the brand you've grown to trust over the course of 3 generations. And welcome now to General Pharmacy, the dramatic story of handsome young druggist Ross Flocknoy and his struggle to save humanity at the prescription counter of a pharmacy still technically owned by his aging father. As our scene opens today, Ross is carefully buttoning his pharmaceutical smock to begin work, when suddenly a stranger he's never seen before approaches the prescription counter.
Good morning. I know you've never seen me before, but I'm sure you recognize me from my pictures. I'm Roderick Ashford, star of stage, screen, and television. My lovely wife, the former Brenda Hume, has recently left me for another man, so now I need this prescription filled.
I'm afraid you'll have to wait a moment. I'm still buttoning my pharmaceutical smock to begin work.
Very well, but I'm sure I don't need to tell you. It's rather urgent.
Hey, Mr. Ashford. Oh, what a break finding you here. Remember me, Eddie Fapp, cub reporter for the old Hollywood Evening Graphic?
No, I don't remember you, but what's more, I have nothing to say to the press about the status of my on-again, off-again marriage to the lovely Brenda Hume.
Okay, I can fill your prescription now, Mr. Ashford.
Just say I'll always remember Brenda as she was when I first picked her out of the back row of a chorus line and made her my wife.
Ah, that's a great quote, Mr. Ashford. You know, getting this scoop could be a big turning point for me at the Evening Graphic. Sure hope so. Trying to support my chronically ill mother on a salary of only $42 a week has been rough.
Well, I'm afraid I have nothing to say that would make a headline, son. Naturally, I miss Brenda desperately, but as the idol of the nation's women, I don't suppose I'll ever be lonely.
The doctors say an operation might help Mom, but they don't promise anything, and on my salary, it's out of the question anyway.
Even so, I'll probably dispose of the big house up in the hills. 18 rooms is too much for a man alone to look after.
If you've lost the prescription, I can call the doctor and get it again. That's one of the humanitarian things I often do.
And, of course, every one of those rooms will forever remain filled with memories of Brenda.
Mom fell on the ice and broke her hip about 5 years ago. That was the start of the whole thing. Being bedridden just seems to leave a person open to all kinds of infection.
I imagine I'll spend more time at the cottage in Palm Springs now. I've neglected my golfing because Brenda never liked the game.
Just lying in bed that long weakens the lungs, and, well, now Mom seems to look a little worse every night when I come home from the office.
I've neglected so many things because Brenda didn't like them. All I cared about was pleasing Brenda.
I think I'd give the operation a try, even if the doctors can't promise anything, but, well, on $42 a week, it's out of the question.
You'd think that would mean something to her, wouldn't you?
Oh, it would mean the world to her, but I just can't swing it.
Yes, I guess that's because the story of my life now, I just can't swing it.
I'm afraid I'll have to fill somebody else's prescription first if you won't give me yours.
Quite all right. You can take this gentleman ahead of me.
I haven't got a prescription. On $42 a week, I can't afford one.
Strangely enough, I find that understandable. I've never said this publicly, but I was once poor myself. And now that the secret is out, I can't tell you how much better I feel.
And so, handsome young druggist Ross Flocknoy continues aiding those who come to him in search of prompt relief. But what dark clouds may be hovering on the horizon for Ross? Be sure to join us next time when we'll hear lovely Brenda Ashford say,
But I don't understand. I thought all aspirin was alike.
That's in the next dramatic episode of General Pharmacy.
And now, through the magic of live radio, we again join Farley Gerard in a remote corner of America as he continues to travel down the byways. Today, Farley has parked his deluxe motorhome in Royal Center, Indiana, where he's prepared to bring us another of his homespun reports. So take it away, Farley Gerard.
For many of us mature Americans, the familiar figures of our childhood have all but vanished from the national scene. The early morning footsteps of the milkman are seldom heard in today's suburbs. Gone, too, are the streetcar motorman, the old clothesman, and the neighborhood vendor of fresh produce. But here in Royal Center, Indiana, a man named Merle Boggins is striving to keep one bit of our heritage alive. For Merle Boggins is that once familiar figure who is rarely seen today, the small-town Grouch. And Mr. Boggins, I'm sure your type still sends a reminiscent chill of fear through many of us older folks.
Well, thank you for those kind words, but of course, it's the younger folks I'm really anxious to scare. As the town curmudgeon, I play a vital role. Excuse me a moment. Hey, you little punk! Pick up that candy wrapper before I ram it down your throat.
Well, that threat certainly did the trick, Mr. Boggins. The tyke couldn't have been more than 5 years old, but he jumped to obey your command.
Yes, I can see the terror in his eyes. He'll be having nightmares about old Merle Boggins. You can bet your boots on that.
You seem to derive a good deal of satisfaction from playing out your role as the town grump here in Royal Center.
Oh, yes, I feel I'm rendering a service to the parents of this community when I scare the wits out of their kids. We have almost no juvenile delinquency here. As a result excuse me. Hey, you! Don't leave your tricycle on my sidewalk. Haven't you got the sense you were born with? You see that? I love it when they burst into tears and just take off that way.
Yes, I can see your enjoyment. You were saying that your sour disposition has helped rid the town of juvenile delinquency, too?
That's right. You see, young children are naturally afraid of adults, and I'm a large man who makes an imposing figure for them to fear.
Well, that's quite true. You must be well over 6 feet and...
No, actually, I'm 5'8", but I weigh over 300 pounds. The children find that frightening.
As well they might. You feel that screaming at them teaches a respect for elders that keeps the kids out of trouble, is that it?
No, it's not so much a matter of respect. It's more that I terrify them enough to make them stay home when they can't bother anybody.
Well, I did notice that there are very few children on the street here, but I thought maybe they were just in school somewhere.
Oh, no. Most of them are hiding in upstairs closets or attics. However, few who have the money are probably seeing their psychiatrists about now.
Their emotional problems will all result from being frightened by you in their early years. Is that what you believe?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Now, this little town supports 26 psychiatrists now, and they all tell me I've done a great job of getting our young people thoroughly warped. That's what makes them good citizens. Now, years ago... excuse me. Hey, you little brat! Don't pick those flowers, or I'll wring your scrawny neck.
I think he fainted.
Yeah, some of the smaller ones do. Now, as I was saying, every community used to have a town grouch years ago, and believe me, children stayed in line a lot better than they do now, with nothing to scare them but TV and movies.
Yes, your type does present a more clear and present danger.
I was badly frightened by a crazy old man when I was young, and now I'm just doing the same thing for the next generation. That's the American way. But there aren't many of us dedicated grumps left. Oh, hey, you in the stroller! Go home! I don't want to see your ugly little face around here.
And so, once again, the quiet of a small-town afternoon is broken by the rasping, ominous voice of Merle Boggins. There aren't many like him left in America, and for those of us who remember the local curmudgeon of our own childhood, Merle Boggins is like a touch of yesteryear pulling at our heartstrings. We'll remember Merle as we pack up and leave Royal Center to hear the other stories that are waiting to be told down the byways. Until our next stop, this is Farley Gerard saying so long for now. A brief word now for another of our sponsors who've joined us for this series, the Upper Mohawk Valley Manufacturing Company.
Friends, we've warned you in the past that Upper Mohawk refuses to sell any of its products directly to the public at retail. But still, many of you persist in sending cash, checks, and money orders to the company's main office at 538 East Wallingford Street in Herkimer, New York.
We must say again that this is a futile attempt on your part to obtain products bearing the genuine Upper Mohawk label. The company cannot fill retail orders or return unsolicited money. So when you're in the market for any of Upper Mohawk's superior products, please refrain from doing what thousands of others have done.
Do not send your cash, check, or money order to the Upper Mohawk Valley Manufacturing Company, 538 East Wallingford Street, Herkimer, New York.
That address again, 538 East Wallingford Street, Herkimer, New York. Thank you.
Come with us now as we return once more to Garish Summit and its endless story of intrigue among the socially prominent. There, in stately splendor, far removed from the squalid village below, they fight their petty battles over power and money. As our story resumes, young Rodney Murchfield is seated behind his large mahogany desk in his large mahogany-paneled office at the Murchfield Lead Company. He glances up as his ne'er-do-well brother Caldwell enters.
Oh, I'm surprised to see you in the office before noon, Caldwell. What's wrong? Did the rest of your golf foursome fail to show up?
Now, don't be sarcastic, little brother. I think you know why I'm here. I'm the executive vice president of this firm, but I just got word from the bank that my last paycheck bounced. Now, what gives, Rodney?
If you spent more time around here, you wouldn't need to ask, Caldwell. The bottom has dropped out of the lead market. Naturally, that creates a cash flow problem for a company like ours that doesn't produce anything else.
Well, what about our reserves in the warehouse? Can't we borrow against those to tide us over?
No, it seems the bank doesn't want to risk getting stuck with hundreds of tons of lead ingots. Even a flashy advertising campaign won't whip up much consumer demand for a product like that.
Thought I'd say, you're really in Dutch, Rodney. I can just picture Mother's reaction when she learns that the family business has gone to the brink of bankruptcy under your leadership.
Greetings, Mother. How nice to see you paying one of those rare visits to your office here in Murchfield Tower.
Cut the small talk, Rodney. Come in and close the door.
I'm afraid I can't close the door, Mother. I sold it to cover this week's petty cash expenses.
I should have known something like this would happen. You're just such a lousy businessman, Rodney.
I don't think that's a fair statement, Mother. I got bids from 3 second-hand door companies before I made the sale, and I can assure you that I held out for top dollar.
I'm not talking about doors.
I got $12 in cash for this one, and Wild Eddie, the king of used door dealers, has taken an option on all the rest of them in the building at the same price.
My word, Rodney, you can't keep a lead company in business by selling its office doors.
Well, we can't seem to sell anything else at the moment, Mother, especially our lead. However, I'm sure the unstable market is only temporary. It's just something caused by the Arabs or the Canadians, a bunch of those other foreigners, but it'll blow over.
Well, until it does, you're going to have to show the same kind of strong corporate leadership that your father always displayed. You must do what's best for all concerned.
I'm not sure what that is, Mother.
It's obvious. Preserve our family fortune by laying off all the lead miners until we can get the price back up.
Well, I don't think the workers would see that as being the best thing for all concerned. In fact, I can just imagine what those husky brutes would do if they ever got wind of your idea.
Hey, Muggsy, give me a hand with this load of ingots, will you? They weigh 600 pounds apiece, and I can't lift them by myself.
I'm sorry, Brutus, but I've hoisted my last ingot for those conniving Murchfields. I hear the old lady's planning to give us all the axe just because the lead market's dropped a little.
Holy catfish, Muggsy. I've been with Murchfield Lead for 49 years. I'm due to get my gold watch in the spring.
Well, you can kiss that goodbye. My little girl can forget about those expensive baton twirling lessons, too. Ah, it's a shame. She had real talent. She could have been a contender.
Personally, I don't think we should take this lying down. Lead miners can be mean and unruly when they're stirred up. And I think it's time we stirred them up to teach the Murchfields a lesson they'll never forget.
Can the workers at Murchfield Lead hope to stage an effective strike after they've all been fired? Will Caldwell's standing at the country club suffer when he's forced to spend his days at the unemployment office? And what about Wild Eddie's move to corner the market and used office doors? Perhaps we'll learn more next time when we hear Brutus tell his co-workers,
I'm clocking out early to go beat Rodney Murchfield to a pulp.
That's in the next exciting episode when we resume our story of intrigue on Garish Summit. Well, mention my name in Sheboygan means that's it for this Bob and Ray show, ladies and gentlemen.
Bob, I want to thank you for showing up.
And the same to you. Trust we can count on another visit down these same airwaves together very soon.
This program was developed and produced for the Radio Foundation by our friend and cohort Larry Josephson. Now, he's the one over there with the frown on his face.
Lars Hoel was the associate producer, assisting him in all of this, as did Paul Taubman in the music department.
And Al Schaefer, Mr. Dependable, in the sound effects booth.
Technical director was David Glasser.
Our engineers, Howard Schwartz and David Glasser, assisted by Marty Newman and Miles Smith.
Production assistants Bill O'Neill and Charles Whitson.
Major funding for the Bob and Ray Radio Show was provided by the National Endowment for the Arts and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting through NPR's Satellite Program Development Fund. And now this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumbs.